In Lesson 90, we look at systems of three equations. We've worked with these before, but as you notice now, each equation has three terms, so it's not as easy to use substitution. So what we're going to do is use elimination to eliminate one of the variables, and then we'll end up having two equations with two variables. But we have to use elimination twice in order to get the two equations with two variables. And then we'll be able to solve for the two variables that we have left with either substitution or elimination. Okay, so what I'm going to do is eliminate the z, just because in all three of the equations z has a 1 in front of it, and then one of the equations already has the opposite sign, a -1 in front of the z. So it makes it easier to add the equations and come up with two variables. So first I'm going to add the first two equations. And I'm just going to keep them like they are since I already have the same number with opposite signs in front of my z. So I'm going to have x plus 2x, so that'll give me a 3x. And then I'll have 2y plus a -y, so that'll be plus y, or 1y. And then my z's cancel, and then 4 plus 0 is 4. Okay? So then, the next two equations I'm going to combine are the bottom two. And again, I'm going to eliminate the z's. So I'll have 2x plus 2x, so it's going to be 4x. And I'll have a -y plus a -2y, so that'll be a -3y. And then a z, well, the z's cancel. And then a 0 plus a 1 is just 1. Okay? And then at this point, I can decide to use either substitution or elimination. I'm going to go ahead and use elimination again by multiplying the top equation by 3, and then my y's will have the same number in front, but with opposite signs. So I'll have a 9x plus 3y. Again, I'm just multiplying that 3 all the way across to all three terms, equals 12. And now I can add those equations together. I'll have 13x, my y's will cancel, and that equals 13. Then I would just divide both sides by 13, so x equals 1. Now I can take that value and put it in for x here, or in the other equation, to find out what y is. So I'll have 3 times 1 plus y equals 4. Okay, so 3 times 1 is just a 3. Then I would subtract 3, so y equals 1. And now that I know what x and y are, I can substitute those in either one of those three equations to find out what z is. I'll just use the first one. So I'll have 1 to put in for the x, plus 2 times the 1 that I'll put in for the y, plus z equals 4. So that's just going to be a 2, so 1 plus 2 is 3, plus z equals 4, and then subtract 3, so z also equals 1. So our final answer would be 1, 1, and 1. Alright, let's look at the next example. So again, you want to choose one of the easier variables to eliminate. Either the x's or the y's would work out pretty nicely. I'm going to eliminate the y's. So I'm going to first combine the first two equations, but the top equation I'll need to multiply by 2. So I would have 2 multiplied across this whole equation here. So I would have 4x minus 2y plus 3z equals 9. And the bottom equation I can just, or the second I should say, equation here I can just leave the same, so that way when I add the y's, it'll make a 0 and they'll eliminate. So I'll just have an x plus 2y, see if they have the same number with opposite signs, that's why they're going to eliminate, plus z equals 8. So then I'll add those together. So I'll have a 5x, y's cancel, plus 4z equals 17. Alright, now I'm going to combine the bottom two equations, and as you can see, the y's already have the opposite signs with the same number, so I can leave these two equations as they are and eliminate the y's. So I'll have a 2x, y's cancel, plus 2z equals 8. Then I can use substitution or elimination. I'm going to use elimination, and I'm going to eliminate the z's because all I need to do is multiply the bottom equation by a -2, and then I'll have the same number in front of my z with opposite signs. So this will be a -4x minus 4z equals -16. I'll go ahead and write this one just below it. So 5x plus 4z equals 17. And then I'm going to be adding these bottom two together. So I'll have just an x, because it'll be -4 plus 5, it's just a 1, plus, oh, that would be 0, so I don't have to write that, equals 1. So x equals 1. So I can substitute that back in for one of my equations. Say if I wanted to use the top one, I would have 5 times 1 plus 4z equals 17. So this would just be a 5, and I would subtract 5, so 4z equals 12, and divide by 4, so z equals 3. Now that I know what x and z are, I can fill those in for one of my equations up here to find out what y is. I'll use the middle equation. So I have a 1 for the x plus 2y plus and a 3 for the z equals 8. So again, I was using that middle equation there. So 1 plus 3 is 4, so 2y plus 4 equals 8. Subtract the 4, so 2y equals 4, and divide both sides by 2, so y equals 2. So our final answer is 1, 2, 3. There you go. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or you can ask in class.